How's our girl?
She's ready.
You're gonna be the first person to transition from a human body to a synthetic.
Because I'm special.
That's right. You're very, very special.
Well, we have a new entry into the Alien franchise with Alien Earth, a new TV show. So, yippee! Okay, so, I have been hearing from a lot of different people online, and they say that this show is the best since Aliens. Now, let me just pause there, because I have some thoughts. But let's go through this. When I heard that they were going to do an Alien TV series, I thought, okay, if they got the right talent in there, they make it feel alien-like, okay, let's see what you got. And I was really liking the marketing. I mean, we didn't get a proper trailer until like a month before the series actually started, which, sucked, but was kind of cool. I like that mystery aspect to it. It was really cool. And they do a pretty good job with it, with capturing, that alien feel, like something you would watch from like the other movies. Now, here comes the kick. So people have said that this is the best alien thing since Aliens. Personally, I fully disagree. But let me tell you about the story real quick. So if you don't know the story, it is the Weyland-Yutani Corporation has this vessel in space that is carrying a whole bunch of new species of alien, including xenomorph eggs, and they crash land on Earth. So then a new company who was started by a basically 20-year-old TikToker who just has way too much money, he has developed a program that allows humans to be transferred into like synth-like bodies. So he gets a group of kids and swaps them into synth adult bodies, and basically gives them life of immortality. Sorry, and they're the ones that get all these species, all these different creatures, and now it's a fighting war between this company and Weyland-Yutani, but also some other stuff is happening. So, why do I think this is not the best since Aliens? Well, I'm here to tell you this. Let's get the positive out of the way first. I did like the new like alien stuff they bring in there. It's not just focused on the xenomorphs anymore. You have a couple of new species, like you have an eyeball squid thing. You have like bugs, and it's like, ugh, that's gross. That's eerie, but that's really cool. I like how they're expanding upon that. It's not just the xenomorphs anymore. I really liked the way they did that. It was really cool what they were doing. And I like how at times that was the focus. The special effects and the score were a definite highlight. The effects were really well done, especially since this was an FX show. I'm not saying that FX shows are bad, but Disney actually, they put their money into it and made it look like you would see in the movies. It was really impressive the way they did it. And the score really felt very like Alien, where it felt like, I can't remember the composer for the show, but it kind of felt like they were copying like Jerry Goldsmith and even some degree Benjamin Wolfish from Romulus. So I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. And even some from like Prometheus and Covenant. I was like, all right, that's really cool. It feels very in universe. So I really enjoyed that. Now, here comes what I don't like. Number one thing. I did not care for anybody in this show. Everybody either sucks, is an idiot, is just rude for no fucking reason, irritating for no reason, or just didn't have my sympathy. Even like main characters, I was like, I just don't care. I was, and these side plots, some of the side plots they bring in, they don't seem to matter. They kind of felt like filler. There were some times where it's an 8-episode season that I felt like this story could have been wrapped up in maybe 5 or 6 episodes. So we have 2 to 3 episodes that are just filler for me. And I do know that there's a lot of people that liked this show. There are some people that think that it could have been better. There are some people that didn't like it at all. I'm in the camp of this could have been better. Now, did I hate this? No. But did I like it? Not really. Everything that was starting to pull me in, it then immediately pulled me back out. And a lot of that had to do with the characters and also the subplots too. Where it's like, why does this matter? Why are you doing this? Like, just why was the question I kept asking this. They constantly do fade-ins and fade-outs, like overlays of stuff, and it got really, really annoying. Like, it was fine for maybe a couple of times, but then after that was like, oh my God, they're doing this every single episode. Like, what are you doing? And there are some interesting ideas that don't get resolved. And I'm like, then why was that there? Which then harkens back to my point. This story could have been wrapped up in maybe 5-6 episodes. So we have 2-3 episodes that's just like, oh, we have a story that fits 5 episodes. We need 8 in total. So what are we going to do here? What are we really going to do here? It kind of reminded me a little bit of, something like Haunting of Hill House, where Haunting of Hill House, you take a look at the story of that. The story for that is 2 episodes. Even Flanagan said it. Like, it's 2 episodes tops. That means that there's going to be 8 episodes of filler, and we don't want to do that. So they stretched it out, and they made it really interesting. Like, they gave every single character their own episode. And then the last half was like, okay, all of it's coming together now. With this, it was like, we're just going to randomly do this. Like, okay, we're going to have this subplot, and then that's going to go away for a while. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like Beetlejuice 2, where you had the subplot of, you had Monica Bellucci playing Beetlejuice's wife, and she was out looking for him, and we start on that subplot, and then 40 minutes later we get back to it, and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot this was a thing. And so there were some plots in here where I was like, yeah, this could have been resolved like in maybe half an episode. Instead, you stretched it out to like the length of 3 episodes, and I was like, and this feels like filler to me. The end was kind of one of those, like, okay, like, again, I just don't really care, and because the problem that I have with a lot of these sci-fi things is that they do a lot of the same things that we've seen for the past 60 plus years. Oh, AI is bad. Robots could potentially, take over. synths are could potentially take over. It's like, yeah, guys, movies and TV shows have been saying that for 60 plus years. Okay. Do we really need to go back to Kubrick? Cause he did it in the 60s. And do we really need to go far back for that? And it's like, unless you're doing something new with it, don't do it. And unfortunately, as much as this does something new, it was just kind of boring. I was a little bored, and there were times where I was like, okay. To be honest, my favorite episode in this was the episode where it was on the Weyland-Yutani ship, where we got to learn what happened. And it was a whole hour of that. I was like, this is cool. And did it feel very familiar to Alien? Yes. But it was like, all right, this is cool. I like what you're doing here because it's not just focused on the xenomorph. I did like that. Now, if this just was focused on the xenomorph, then it would have been like, okay, it's just a hardened copy of some of the other movies. And it's like, that's not what I want to see. Especially with Romulus, where they introduced so many different new aspects. And it's like, that's really cool. So we need to get on this track of making something different, which, they tried to, but it was just, I didn't like the writing all that much. I thought it was kind of boring. And, while there was cool stuff in this, it's really all that is. And so, some of the performances, especially my favorite performance in this was Timothy Olyphant. I thought he was really good. But then, of course, that's him, so he's really good. So I also did like how all the kids now, like robotic adults, they're still acting like kids. I thought that was kind of cool. I liked that. But this was just a high fine to me. Like, this was a fine. If this gets picked up for another season, which it's looking like it might because people are demanding it, I just wish the writing is a lot better and the characters are written a lot better. They don't make them annoying. So I'm kind of hoping, but yeah, even if it gets greenlit for another season, would I watch it? Probably, but it won't be on the top of my radar.
If we don't lock them down, it will be too late.